Right now, I am on vacation, sort of. I'm still working part-time during this trip, but I'm in Minnesota, spending 3 weeks with my family. My husband and I are starting the trip with his paternal side of the family, where we are all staying in a cabin rental, and by we are all, I mean his grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and many siblings. At this point, I'm really not entirely sure what this video will be about. I don't even know if there will be a video. All I know is that I packed my microphone and some yarn, and when I'm bored, I'm filming, and when I'm filming, I'm gonna talk about whatever I want. There is no structure here today, no agenda, just vibes. I I mean, is there a point to a video with no point? I think the answer is like a solid maybe. So your role in this adventure is to just be the friend waiting for me when I get too peopled out, when I need a second to just not be around a whole crowd and doing all the things, when I need a second to escape. I'm going to come talk to you. And we're going to chill and we're going to decompress together. Can I tell you all a little bit about the project I'm working on? I'm hoping you can hear me over the sound of the wind, but we'll see. It's a really beautiful night outside. I can hear the loons. There was actually a mother loon and her little babies that were really close to where I'm standing right now. And it was really sad. I didn't realize that I was sneaking up on them. I didn't see them there, so they got scared and flew away. But oh my gosh, that mama had like 30 babies that she was taking care of. When I was packing for this trip, I decided to pack along some of my Drops Bell yarn in blue and a crochet hook big enough to work with that yarn. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure something out if I get bored on that trip. And like day one, right away, I started casting on this self draft. And I think it's going to be like a cropped sweater because I've been complaining all spring about how I don't have any summer knits. It's time to stop complaining and start doing. There's a big bumblebee that's kind of coming around me now, so I hear buzzing every once in a while really close to my face. The weather for this cabin trip has actually been a little sad this week. So it's been cold and rainy and very, very windy. So it hasn't exactly been swimsuit weather, but it's supposed to start getting a little warmer starting tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And so hopefully it'll be good, especially because we have 4th of July in a couple days, and I would love to have a really warm 4th of July. This is just such a good mindless crochet project to have on hand. I'm loving this. The place we're staying at used to be a lodge with a fully functional bar, and they even have like an ice maker and all the equipment to bartend. So we've just been having fun playing bartender, although I think the older men would not call it playing bartender like I do. One of the relatives brought peanuts in the shell, which are like a classic American bar staple. So it's been really fun to just set the scene and shell your roasted salted peanuts while sitting at the bar watching TV. And I'm not much of a drinker, but I'm thinking every vacation rental needs a bar since it functions as a secondary communal space. So we're not all on top of each other in the living room all freaking day. There's also booths all around this bar area, which have been really nice for setting up to get work done. It's like a little semi-private sanctuary with noise-canceling headphones. It's really easy to actually get some quality work done, which is not always the case. This place has also had a ton of entertainment included. Like there's a pool table, which I mostly ignore, honestly, because I'm a terrible pool player. There's a foosball table that I hurt my wrist on day one by spinning too hard. And my favorite currently is the table shuffleboard, which I've gotten pretty good at, if I do say so myself. I got really bored for a couple days and just spent hours practicing. When I'm not doing the shuffleboard, which is like really loud and in the middle of the living room, so I don't want to bug people. So when I'm not doing that, I've just been working on this crochet project, like honestly a lot more than I thought I would. I just kind of brought the crochet and knitting equipment with me just in case I got bored, but I wasn't really expecting to make any real progress on any projects. I just forgot how nice it is to have something to do with my hands when talking with others so that I can actually pay attention without my mind wandering off too much. And it's Also, just good to bring outside with me when I really just want to sit outside and do nothing without getting entirely bored. I can just sit for hours crocheting on the dock without getting bored. Can you hear me over the waves? They're pretty loud. As you can see, we got just the tiniest amount of sunlight, and so I sprinted outside so that I could sit on the dock for a while and just enjoy, ideally. No one else is out because it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is a little bit too chilly for getting in the water. But look at the progress I've been making. I have a front and back, and I'm so close to being able to join them. Also, the water is totally lapping up on the side of the dock. So, we're just really risking it for the biscuit and hoping that my phone and assorted technology does not fall in the water. Ooh, split second of sun. Let me soak it all in. It is the last day of the first cabin trip, and the sun has finally decided to come out. Although, in case you haven't noticed, I am not much of a tanner. I am a hide from the sun kind of person. So, this long sleeve shirt will be staying on all day, as will the hat and the bucket of sunscreen I have applied, because I like the feeling of the sun. I do not like when the sun gets a little too comfy with me. We've ran into a bit of a problem with the project. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. I didn't pack enough yarn. I can't believe it. I thought I packed too much yarn. And I thought for sure I'd be able to make a cropped long sleeve, like swim cover up summer sweater situation. No, so I have 1.5 balls of yarn left. So what I was gonna do is 2 long sleeves and a border on the bottom and a border on all the sleeves. So here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of doing 2 long sleeves and then finishing the body like I normally like to do, I like to do the sleeves before I finish the body just so that I know, is the joint at the sleeves going to pull up the body or not. What I think I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to get the body to be about how long I want it, and I'm going to add a border when I get home. And then I'm going to do short sleeves. So basically, whenever I run out of yarn, that's when the sleeves are done. When I get home then, because I'll leave everything with a raw edge and not do a border, then I'll just add on and finish the sleeves at home and do a bottom border when I get home. But that way, for the rest of this trip, at least I have like a wearable t-shirt situation going on. Also, no one is outside. Why is no one outside? It's kind of nice because I can record without being embarrassed, but also, how come no one is out here enjoying the nature? Unknown. Brief story time about my finger. Yesterday, a bug bit me where my wedding ring is, and my finger started swelling up, and so I had to get some lotion to get my wedding ring off because I was worried that it was going to swell too much and it was going to start hurting. And I reached into my toiletries bag to grab my lotion, but my razor was in there uncovered, blades up, and it took off and sliced off the tip of my finger, so that hurt. And then I had to bandage up this finger. So then I had to bandage up this finger and immediately take off my wedding ring. It's just been a tough week for my left hand. All right, I don't know when I'm going to check in with you next and when I'm going to have like a moment. There are some really cute baby ducks around me right now. So I'm going to go look at the baby ducks while I crochet and listen to music.
Side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love.
I have had 2 strangers stop me so far today to tell me that they like my style. So I think I gotta wear bandanas more. I'm thinking that's it. Because the rest of the outfit I wear all the time. But yeah, I'm feeling... something about strangers complimenting you just like makes your day 10 times better. I gotta remember to do that more with strangers. It's been like a week, I think, since I last checked in with you, which is kind of crazy. It has been quite the week. It's always clear to me when it's been a while since I've been in front of the camera because I have such a hard time knowing, like, okay, what am I supposed to talk about? Staying on track. You have no idea, maybe you do, the amount of editing that goes into me cutting off my like random trains of thought. And right now, really all I want to tell you is like, look at how cute this mug is. I got this for $4 at a tea shop. My friend took me to this tea shop. We had such a good day. So she picked me up and we went immediately and got waffles at the original Waffle House, original Pancake House, original something house. It was a really good meal. And then we went to this beautiful park in the Twin Cities, kind of by a river, with just like stunning nature where you just get to see a ton of egrets and herons and birds chirping around. And we just sat down in a shady spot and crocheted for like 3 hours. It was amazing. I haven't gotten to sit down and like craft with someone like that in a long time, especially not like in an outdoor like picnic blanket setting. It was so fun. It was just what I needed. And then my friend took me to this little tea shop. I liked that they had all their teas in a certain section in these little containers so you could smell all the tea before deciding what you wanted to order. And then I got this mug, like I said, for $4 and it's got this cute freaking pufferfish trying to kiss the other pufferfish. But yeah, it's been a good week. I don't know how much you care about my vacation, but a couple highlights so far. My parents do pickleball once a week, which I think is awesome. Like everyone's been doing pickleball and you either play pickleball or you make fun of people that play pickleball. There's almost no median. And I was the person that kind of like made fun of people that played pickleball. And then my dad like hurt his knee, not so bad, he's fine, or his leg or something. I don't know. He got injured. My mom needed a partner for her like pickleball game on Monday. It was like a friendly one with some friends and I had never played pickleball. So I looked up some YouTube videos and played with her and I had a great time. Oh my gosh. And it was such a good workout. So I'm going to become a pickleball person now. It's happening. And I don't feel like I should be making fun of people anymore for doing a healthy activity that they enjoy. Like working out is hard. So if you can find a way to do it, that's fun. Do it. And that's what I need to start doing. Speaking of, I then went rock climbing with a friend of mine. And I have only been rock climbing like 5 times in my life, indoor rock climbing. I've not done outdoor rock climbing. That freaks me out. There's bugs and cracks. I don't want to do it. But I love indoor rock climbing. And it was so fun. This cup continues to just be so tiny and cute. It brings me the most joy. So much joy. All right, let's talk about projects, which I have progressed a lot on since I've seen you, but I feel like I haven't really been working that hard on them only because I've been busy and I've been working during this trip. So it's not like I just have 3 weeks of vacation. That's not how it works in America. For you European folks watching, we do not have, to my knowledge, a minimum requirement of vacation time, really. I think my sister gets like 5 days a year. And we certainly don't have requirements for paid time off. That is a privilege afforded only to middle class and above. So I'm very thankful for my 15 days of vacation a year. But I also like die a little bit internally when I hear people from Europe talking about their vacation time that they just get baseline. I'm a little jelly. I need to stop. That rant was going to go on forever. All right, now we're going to pin this mic to my shirt. Okay, so the first project is this one, and it's like kind of done-ish. I still need to weave in the ends, and I want this to be long sleeve, not short sleeve, but I ran out of yarn, and I packed so much of this yarn. I think I had like 6 balls maybe. So I thought it would go a little bit further, but that's all right. So I guess I'm just going to order some more yarn and finish it when I get home. But if I weave in the ends, I made sure to finish it so that the leaves were the same length and the length was exactly what I wanted it to be. I do have one issue with this piece, if I'm being honest. The big issue for me is like, this is super open weave and I thought it would be cute, kind of like the crochet dress that I did, like the swim cover up. And I think as a swim cover up, this will work, but I was hoping that I could also wear it just as a top in the summer with like a tank top underneath or something, but I'm gonna need to be real careful about the kinds of tank tops that I wear under this and brought, cause like I tested out some different stuff that I had packed and it didn't really look quite right. I do think I would actually wear this in the winter though, with like a really form-fitting turtleneck underneath or like a mock neck, not like a full turtleneck. Or like a collared shirt underneath. That could be cool as like a layering piece that's not overly warm because in the winter, like where I live, it doesn't get that cold. I wonder if it would look cute under the tank top that I'm wearing right now. Does that work? I don't know. I need to find a mirror. You know what? It's actually not bad with this current tank top. All in all, I'm like hesitantly happy with how this is coming together. I just need to make sure that I can style it and that I'll actually wear it. So I think I can make it work, but it's the only reason I'm hesitant is because I want pieces that are just like, yes, I will totally wear that 100%. And right now I'm just not like quite sure, but maybe doing the finishing touches, adding the sleeves, adding maybe a bottom border is going to be like the stuff I need to make this perfect. The progress I had made, this is my mom's sweater. It's the Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. It's like maybe the third Petite Knit pattern I've tried to follow. This is a sweater from my mom, and I'm using Drops Air alpaca. And before this trip started, I had done, because you start on the back neckline and you work back and forth, slowly increasing while doing the raglans. Here I can like lay it out like this. And I had done maybe like an inch of the back neckline. So all this progress has been done in the past couple days. And I had my mom just kind of try this part on. And so far the fit's looking okay. The V part of the V-neck is really going to be the true test of if it fits or not. My thought so far is that crochet is definitely much easier to travel with on vacation. It was really easy for me to just transport and bring with me wherever I went, and less concern about things falling off the needles. And with the type of crochet project that I was doing, it was fairly mindless, so I didn't really have to put much thought into it, which is ideal for vacations when you're like, I'm always with other people. So like I was in a cabin with 18 other people, all staying in the same place. So there's just lots of distractions and a lot going on, which is good. And I want to be involved in that. I don't want to be sucked into my knitting and crochet projects. These are really just something for my hands to be doing because I get bored easily. Or like if people are just sitting around talking, I like to be working on something. So that's what that's good for. I also think the crochet project was probably a better vacation project because it's a linen fiber. So working with, it's like a linen cotton blend. Working with that in the summer months is a little bit nicer than working with alpaca. However, it's not a super rustic wool. So on a hot day when I'm feeling kind of gross, like this doesn't feel that bad to work with.
I know that you know I saw it. Your words like little knives. Part of me thought you would have fought it. Can't say that I was surprised. Oh, 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 oh. I'm so done with you.
Okay, this is gonna be a short update because there's like no privacy at this place. I'm sharing this room with 3 other people, but I managed to sneak away for some alone time. I was getting really overwhelmed today and really overstimulated just being around so many people because it's a lot to go from just living my quiet life with my quiet husband to being surrounded by 15 people for 3 weeks straight.
I'm so done with you. And I thought you changed, but you go back to the same old ways. Yeah, I'm so done with you. I hope that it made you feel good.
The trip has taken a bit of a turn. For anyone that doesn't know, there was a CrowdStrike issue on Friday, and tons of servers just went down and reboot loops and computer tech stuff, but basically technology wasn't working the way it was supposed to for a lot of people. My husband and I got to the airport, and instantly there was an energy that was completely off. As we're walking through the airport, we're noticing left and right that there are people all over the place sleeping on cots, babies crying, families kind of like huddled together on the floor, people sleeping, carrying their bags. I've never seen so many people sleeping on the floor in the airport. Lines like super long. I didn't even know where these lines were going. They were just insane. But we thought we were gonna be okay. Go through security, no issues. We sit down at our gate and everything seems fine. The people that work at the gate kept saying, all right, we're gonna start boarding soon. All's looking really good. All was not very good.
We turn our attention now to the airport, where a lot of flights have been canceled, but not due to the weather. The infamous software update that sent airlines scrambling on Friday, well, it's still a pretty disastrous situation for Delta Airlines and its customers. While other carriers are largely back on schedule today, Delta, which calls MSP Airport one of its hubs, is struggling here and everywhere.
About an hour after our flight was supposed to board, someone in our flight group looked over at the board where they list all the flights and saw, oh my gosh, our flight's been canceled. And the people who work at the front desk before you get onto the plane were like, what? They had not gotten notified. They had no idea. So everyone else was like, great, okay, our flight's canceled. Fine, it happens, we'll figure it out. It was upsetting to me because I was ready to be home. I was so close to being home. I was 3 hours away from being in my apartment with my cats, eating food that I like and having a good time, just decompressing from this entire trip. I was ready. So I was upset, but it's also not the end of the world. People are dying. Is it really that big of a deal? So my husband and I are like, okay, we'll figure it out. It is what it is. We have no control. We'll figure it out. So here were the options that we considered. 1, we can rebook the flight. 2, we can fly standby. Or 3, we can rent a car and drive. Because there were so many issues with different flights all across the country, and especially at this airport, none of the rental car companies were allowing people to rent cars for one-way trips. You had to bring it back to that spot. So renting a car was no longer an option. Again, because so many flights have been canceled and delayed and there have been so many issues, they were no longer allowing people to fly standby because there were so many people waiting to fly standby. They just couldn't hold that many people at the airport. So that option was out. The only option left was to rebook our flight. Now, there are many different ways to rebook a flight. You can go online to the airline's website and book a flight from there, go to an external party's website and go from there, calling the airline to rebook via phone, or we can go in person to a specific desk at the airport to rebook our flight. Well, that airline's website was down. We could not rebook with a third party and get a refund for our flight, so that option was out. I don't want to get into the details of how that worked. And people had been on hold with the airline trying to call and rebook their flight for over an hour and a half before the line just went dead. So there were too many people making calls and they were just hanging up on people. So that option was out. The only option to actually get back home was to rebook the flight in person at the desk. So we waddled over to the line at the airport where it is time to check in for the flight. And I overhear someone sitting in line towards the front of it saying, oh, I can't believe I've been here for an hour and a half. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be in line for an hour and a half to rebook our flight. That's a lot. That's a long time to be in line, on your feet, standing for an hour and a half. And I should just note at this point, I've had nothing to eat all day because we were supposed to be home by lunchtime. But we are troopers, so we got in the line because it was the only option. So it's like, okay, we will make the most of it. So I got on my iPad and I put on the movie Baby Driver, so my husband and I watched that movie together. However, we quickly learned that the line was not going to be as simple as we thought. By the time the movie was over, we had fully realized that the line was not going to be an hour and a half long line like the lady at the front had been waiting. This line took not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 hours. It took 5 hours for us to get to the front of the line. I just want you to understand how hungry I am. I haven't slept well in over a week. I am just exhausted and I want to be home. I cried in this line. I actively cried in public in this line. It has been a long time since I have cried in public. And then a gentleman that works at the airport came over and he said, all right, you 5 towards the front of the line. Me and my husband, I think we're like 6th or 7th in line at this point. Took us aside and was like, great, we're going to help you guys individually just to help this line go by a little bit faster and to help you guys go through a little bit faster. So he took us over to a separate desk with another lady. So we were now 3rd in line instead of 7th. I was very excited because we had jumped further up in line. The lady he left us with, I have no issues with her. She was doing her best, I understand, but it was very clear she was not very good at her job. It took her 20 minutes per person to rebook flights and come up with a plan. And my husband had been trying to rebook flights through any other means well online. We weren't wasting our time with this 5 hours. We were online. Well, it was my husband, not me. I was complaining. My husband was online trying to rebook the flight, making calls, trying to figure it out. And he was successfully able to rebook our flight literally 5 minutes before we got to the front. So that was a bit upsetting, but we were like, you know what, we've waited this whole time. We're talking to her. We're going to find something to talk to her about. So we go up to her when it's our turn and just say, hey, can you confirm? Like, it looks like our flight has been rebooked. Can you confirm that? We were in worse seats and we were losing over $300 that we are not getting back, but I will try to get it back. Also, I should mention the flight that we were able to get, the earliest possible flight out is for today, Wednesday. 4 days later, it took 4 days to get a flight back home. And there are only 2 airlines that actually fly between the 2 cities that we want to go in, Portland and Minneapolis. The other airline had decided to take advantage of the situation, and normally this flight would cost, especially pre-2020, maybe $150 to $250 for this flight for one way. They were charging $1,500 for a one-way flight. So it would have cost me and my husband over $3,000 potentially to fly through this separate airline. We cannot afford that. So we are flying out today, Wednesday, and that is not the end of the story. It just kept getting worse. So we go up to the desk, she confirms, yes, your flight is all booked. It looks like you're good to go. And we're like, great, we have luggage that we have checked. Where do we go to pick that up? And she was like, it should be totally downstairs. You never made it onto your plane. So go downstairs and you should be able to claim your luggage there. So we go downstairs and there's another line. It is now 4 or 5 p.m. And again, we have not eaten anything. We have been on our feet the entire day. So I was like, you know what? There is a little coffee shop down here. I'm gonna go grab myself a hot chocolate and we'll get in line. So we get in line. I've lost track of time at this point. It was 2 or 3 hours in this line for us to get to the front, only for them to find out our bags were not there. They had gotten on a plane and were headed to what looked like Portland. So she was like, great, when you get to Portland, they should be there. Although we were very nervous because we have valuables in these bags and having them sit in an airport for 4 days unattended was unideal. But there's nothing we can do about it at this point. Well, my husband travels a lot for business, and so he has air tags in all of our luggage so that we can track where they go. We found out later that night they were not headed to Portland. They were headed to a completely different city. How they got on a plane to a different city, I have no idea. I was not happy. We had no clothes, no underwear, no nothing for 4 days. So we went to Target to go buy some clothes, which is where I got this outfit because none of the pants or shirts at Target fit me or looked like reasonable. Like they were all just really weird clothes. So this is the outfit I got that I've been wearing for 4 days straight. And basically, this whole thing just broke me. So ideally, I would make the most of the situation. Great, I have 3-4 days in my in-laws' house to just do whatever I want, catch up on some YouTube stuff and plan out some videos, work on my knitting projects, maybe journal, read a book. There's so many options of things I could have done, and I did 0 of those options. I was so upset and not handling it well. And if anyone has ever been through a depressive spiral, you know there's very little you can do to get out of it yourself. Sometimes you just got to ride it out. So it was 2 days of me just being depressed and crying and not doing anything, just staring at walls. So I'm sad that I kind of wasted those several days, but it is what it is. I have no updates on my knitting. I've been too upset to even touch it. I have just been sitting around doing nothing. We leave for the airport in about an hour. So hopefully the plane will actually take off because planes have still been delayed and canceled. So, we'll see. I hope I'll handle it well if it's canceled, but I don't know if I will. I'm just ready to be home. I just want to do a little mini follow-up. I am back from vacation. I put in quotes, vacation. Literally the second I landed, I just started smiling. When I walked through my door, it was just like a deep breath and all the stress just went away. Like how people normally feel when they go on vacation, that's how I feel when I come home. I am very much so a homebody. I did not make any progress on the knit sweater, nor did I make any progress on the crochet top that I had been working on because I ran out of yarn. I'm still waiting on yarn to arrive to actually finish that top that I was talking about. That and the sweater you will see in future episodes of mine. I will talk about them. It's not the last time you'll see them. If anybody was like particularly attached to any of those projects and wanted to see how they turn out, you will get to see that. I'm really surprised that I got done as much as I did. The fact that I progressed on projects at all while on vacation was kind of surprising to me, which is why I am not entirely shocked that I did not finish any of the projects. It's 2 sweaters in a month. What was I gonna do? Crank them out? And I was happy to see that the cats, like normally when we come back from a trip, it takes them a second to warm up, but they've been getting more affectionate the older they get. And as you can see, and over the past few days, they have not given us an inch. They've just been attached at the hip. I got Pippin and Mary back here, and I love them. I love them so much. I missed them so much. So thank you for watching. That was the disjointed, ever ebbing and flowing vacation vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, I guess.